Known for his electrifying presence and unpredictable antics, IShowSpeed has captivated millions worldwide. Whether he's screaming at a FIFA goal, passionately declaring his love for Cristiano Ronaldo, or creating viral moments out of thin air, IShowSpeed doesn't just entertain, he commands attention. Recently, IShowSpeed has begun his latest international live stream tour, and this time, he's traveling around Australia and New Zealand. Here's how to watch his endeavors live in a recap of all the highlights. Throughout 2024, IShowSpeed has made his way around the world as the YouTube sensation live-streamed his travels around various parts of Europe and Southeast Asia. It all kicked off in Sydney, where the moment Speed emerged from his vehicle, dozens of fans were waiting to grab selfies and exchange gifts. Fans flock to his location and surround him in an attempt to meet their favorite streamer almost everywhere he goes, causing $50,000 in damages to rented cars and forcing him to evacuate. His Asia streams were full of wild antics, too, as IShowSpeed was dropped by a professional Muay Thai fighter while in Thailand. But that didn't stop him from going up against boxing legend Manny Pacquiao after traveling to the Philippines. He also made time to ride elephants and have his microphone stolen by a monkey. And let's see Speed awaken the beast within to face the king of the jungle. Speed took a break from traveling after he returned from Asia to attempt a world record and go up against an Olympic runner, but announced his next major tour on Monday, November 18th. IShowSpeed's Australia tour began Wednesday, November 20th at 6 p.m. ET, Thursday, November 21st at 10 a.m. GMT plus 11. His first stream quickly garnered plenty of attention from fans, with over 70,000 tuning in at some stages. On Thursday, Speed began his tour in Sydney, where young fans swarmed him at iconic locations like the Sydney Opera House, Taronga Zoo, and Bondi Beach. Parents even traveled hours with their kids for a chance to meet the streamer. Kicking off day 2 in Sydney, Speed was welcomed by Aboriginals as they welcomed him to the country with song and dance, though it wasn't long before he was up to his usual antics, barking throughout the ceremony. From there, it was off to a local farm as Speed got on a horse and rode it through a nearby drive-thru. Successfully picking up some Oporto, he was soon swarmed by fans. A short drive later, Speed made his way to the GWS Giants training facility, an Aussie rules football team, where he naturally challenged a few of their top athletes. While he won the first foot race with a 10K wager, he came up just short against the second player, though of course, he wouldn't admit it. During that tour, the YouTube star broke out in tears after reaching 1M live viewers while in Indonesia, making him the #1 most watched English streamer of all time in the process. Whether this Australia and New Zealand tour will be as record-breaking as Speed's time in Asia, though, we'll have to wait to see. Before achieving breakthroughs in viewership, Speed often found himself embroiled in controversies there. Everything's do not all interactions went as planned. When wearing a custom Socceroos jersey, Speed attempted to charm a young woman at Bondi Beach but was brutally denied as she turned her back on him, showing no interest in a conversation. That wasn't the only hiccup. Later, an enthusiastic fan snatched a hat gifted to Speed, prompting the YouTuber to chase him down and deliver a heated scolding. Adding to the chaotic day, Speed's attempt at a backflip into Sydney Harbor went awry, requiring him to be pulled from the water. The story doesn't end there. A large crowd gathered as he was leaving Skyline Rotorua's reception area, and several men began to perform the Ka-Mate Haka for Speed, who seemed momentarily surprised before being embraced by the group. The content creator's travels are already making waves, thanks to some wild viral clips where he got into the cage with UFC star Dan Hooker and easily defeated an Australian football player in a 10K race. The streamer asked the group to teach him the haka, and one man instructed the crowd to follow him with 2 slaps on the thighs before pulling his arms back in twice to bring it in for 2. The New Zealand leg of his tour has sparked controversy after officials determined he didn't have the proper visa to work in the country, and that also affects streaming. According to One News, Immigration New Zealand General Manager Risk and Border, Richard Owen, was able to determine that Speed had entered the country with a visitor visa. The problem is that monetizing a stream is in violation of these visa laws, so if he's making any money through his content, he could be in trouble. A person cannot work in New Zealand while holding a visitor visa. In general, individuals require a work visa to engage in activities that result in gain or reward during their time in New Zealand. When a report is made about a possible immigration breach or offense, an assessment is made to determine the veracity and severity of the allegation and how it is best addressed. If Speed's monetizing the videos he's streaming during his travel in New Zealand, in other words, if he's receiving a payment from YouTube for streaming these videos, then he's working in New Zealand, and visitor visa conditions do not allow work. Ankur Sabharwal, an immigration advisor, continued by saying that INZ could resolve the matter by only interrogating Speed or his group. If they feel that he's breaching his visa conditions by working in this country while he holds a visitor visa which doesn't allow work, then they could simply serve him a deportation liability notice, he noted. When someone's breaching their visa conditions, INZ has the choice to decide whether they want to investigate it further or they just simply want to serve them a deportation liability notice. INZ follows standard compliance procedures when investigating visa breaches. When a report is made, an assessment determines the severity of the allegation, Owen said. INZ has not confirmed whether Speed is under formal investigation. Luckily for Speed, he seems to be leaving New Zealand at the right time, as he's slated to fly out of the country on Wednesday, November 27th. That said, the fact that Speed's trip was close to being upended should serve as a warning for any globe-trotting streamer to secure the correct visa before entering a foreign country. Community Law, an advisory organization, clarified the deportation process for visa breaches. A deportation liability notice begins the process, but it doesn't mean immediate removal, their website states. Speed would retain appeal rights before any deportation order is enforced. Sabharwal emphasized that INZ does not have to provide evidence of misconduct. They can choose to investigate further or serve a deportation liability notice, he stated. Speed would be able to contest the notice or ask for its cancellation if it were served. Although INZ has not revealed its next course of action, analysts predict that talks with Speed's team will probably take place. The result may establish a standard for other content producers who come to New Zealand. Breakfast has contacted Speed and his representatives for comment but has not yet had a response. Although IShowSpeed's trip to Australia and New Zealand has come to an end, the troubles lingering behind remain unresolved. I believe Speed's team will respond promptly to these issues to minimize their potential impact. I hope videos of this trip will continue to appear on his channel without interference from external factors.